just the income generated by a firm. For example, Arsenal Football Club can generate revenue in a number of different ways. They might sell tickets to matches. They can sell merchandise. Unfortunately for Arsenal, they're unlikely to generate any revenue from winning trophies. Usually the main source of revenue for a firm comes from sales. This is known as sales revenue, and for your AS level exam, you may be required to calculate sales revenue. At A level, we usually assume that sales revenue and total revenue are the same thing. So going forward, you can think of sales revenue as total revenue for a firm. So how do we calculate the total revenue for a firm, or the income generated from sales? Well, the formula is you take the price of the good per unit and times it by the number of units sold, and that will give you your total sales revenue, or your total revenue for that firm. For example, Man United might charge £20 for a ticket to watch a game. They may sell 100,000 tickets. To calculate their total revenue, we take the price of each ticket, which is £20, and multiply that by the number of tickets sold, which in this example is 100,000. Man United will generate 20 times 100,000 pounds worth of revenue. The revenue generated from ticket sales would be £2 million. Average revenue is the amount of revenue gained by a firm from selling one unit of a good or service. The formula to calculate average revenue is total revenue divided by output. From the previous example, the total revenue to Man United was £2 million. If we take the total revenue of £2 million and divide it by the output of tickets, which was 100,000, we will see that the average revenue that Man United gain from selling a ticket is £20. This is also equal to the price of a ticket. Therefore, at this point, you may want to note that average revenue is equal to the price of a good or service. So why does revenue matter to a firm? Well, most of the time, the main objective for a firm is to maximize its profits. In order to maximize its profits, firms need to make as much revenue as they possibly can. This will help it to achieve its objectives. However, profits are also impacted by changes in costs to firms, as we will move on to look at now. Profit is the reward to an entrepreneur for starting and organizing a firm. How do we calculate profit to a firm? Well, the formula is profit is equal to the total revenue gained by a firm, or income, minus the costs paid by the firm. For example, if a firm's revenue is £1,000 and its total costs are £500, the total profit received by the firm will be equal to £1,000 worth of revenue minus £500 worth of costs, which will give us £500 worth of profit. If profit is negative, that must mean that costs are more than revenues. In this instance, we say that the firm is making a loss. So why is the average revenue curve the same as a firm's demand curve? Both the demand curve and the average revenue curve tell us the same thing. Both curves will tell us what the revenue per unit, or the price, will be at different levels of demand. Let's look at this example. In this instance, if the level of demand for the good or service is at 4 units, well, if you go up to your demand curve will show you that at a demand of 4 units, the price of the good or service will be £4. But remember, price is equal to average revenue. Therefore, the demand curve also shows us the average revenue that the firm will receive at different levels of demand.